My golden child sister asked me to be her maid of honor, then made me pay for everything. So I walked out the day before her wedding. I was over the moon when my sister asked me to be her maid of honor 6 months ago. We've always had a complicated relationship. She's always been the golden child, while I was the one who could never quite measure up in our parents' eyes. So when she called me, crying with happiness about her engagement and asking me to stand beside her on her special day, I thought maybe we were finally turning a corner. Boy, was I wrong. The first red flag appeared during our initial wedding planning session at a cafe. My sister ordered champagne to celebrate, then when the bill came, she conveniently had forgotten her wallet. I paid, thinking nothing of it. Just a one-time thing, right? Then came the dress shopping. She selected a bridal boutique where the maid of honor dress cost nearly $400. When I hesitantly mentioned the price, she rolled her eyes and said, "It's just money. Don't you want me to have the perfect wedding?" I put it on my credit card, telling myself it was a special occasion. Next was the bridal shower. My sister had very specific ideas: a luxury venue, gourmet catering, custom decorations. When I suggested splitting costs with the bridesmaids, she informed me that as maid of honor, it was, traditionally, my responsibility to cover everything. I checked online later and found this wasn't true, but I wanted to keep the peace. Another $1,200 on my credit card. The bachelorette party was the next financial hit. She wanted a weekend at a beach resort, complete with spa treatments and a chartered yacht. When I brought up cost sharing with the other bridesmaids, my sister pulled me aside and whispered, "I told them you insisted on paying for everything to show how much you love me." I was stunned but went along with it. Another $2,500 gone. Throughout all this, I was working overtime to cover these expenses. I canceled my own vacation plans and postponed some minor dental work. My boyfriend was becoming increasingly concerned about my financial situation, but I kept telling him it would all be worth it to repair my relationship with my sister. 2 weeks before the wedding, my sister called me in a panic. The wedding coordinator had quit, and she needed me to step in. This meant taking time off work to handle last-minute details. I agreed, exhausted but still committed. Then came the final straw. The day before the wedding, I was at the venue helping set up when my sister approached with a stack of invoices. The florist, the DJ, and the photographer all needed their final payments, totaling $3,800. "The thing is," she said, not quite meeting my eyes, "we're a little over budget. But since you've been so generous with everything else, I told them you'd cover these final expenses." I stood there, stunned. "I can't afford this," I finally said. "I've already spent over $4,000 on your wedding." Her face hardened. "Well, I thought you'd want to contribute. Mom and Dad gave us money for the venue, and future in-laws paid for the catering. Everyone's pitching in except you. Except me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I've been paying for everything for months." "Those were just the traditional maid of honor duties," she scoffed. "This is my actual wedding. Don't you care about me at all?" Something inside me snapped. 6 months of financial stress, emotional manipulation, and watching my savings disappear crashed down on me at once. Without a word, I handed her the box containing the wedding rings, turned around, and walked out. My phone immediately exploded with texts and calls, from my sister, my parents, even the bridesmaids. I turned it off and checked into a hotel for the night, too emotionally drained to even cry. The next morning, I woke up to dozens of missed calls and a voicemail from my mother saying I had ruined the most important day of my sister's life and demanding I come to the venue immediately to apologize. I didn't go. Instead, I sent a detailed email to my family explaining exactly how much I had spent and how I had been manipulated. I attached screenshots of text messages and receipts totaling over $4,000. The wedding apparently proceeded with one of the bridesmaids stepping in as emergency maid of honor. My sister got married without me there. It's been 2 weeks now. My parents have gone from furious to silent. My sister hasn't spoken to me directly but has been posting passive-aggressive quotes about true family on social media. Some extended family members have reached out after seeing my email, expressing shock at how I was treated. My boyfriend has been my rock through all this, helping me create a plan to pay off the credit card debt I accumulated. I'm still struggling with guilt. Was walking out the day before too harsh? Should I have just paid the final invoices to keep the peace? But then I remind myself that I was being used, not loved. I don't know if my relationship with my sister will ever recover, or if I even want it to. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my savings and learning to set boundaries, something I should have done months ago. Update 1. It's been about a month since the wedding incident, and I wanted to share what's happened since then. First, thank you to everyone who commented with support. I was honestly expecting to be called selfish for abandoning my sister on her wedding day, so your validation meant more than you know. A week after my last post, my mother called. I was surprised to hear her voice sounding subdued rather than angry. She asked if we could meet for coffee, just the two of us. I agreed, though I was anxious about what she might say. When we met, she did something I never expected. She apologized. Apparently, after my email with all the receipts circulated through the family, her sister had a long talk with her about how unfairly I had been treated. My mother admitted she had no idea how much I had been pressured to spend. I always thought your sister's friends were covering most of those expenses, she said. She told us you insisted on contributing because you were doing so well financially. I almost laughed at that. I work as a teacher and have never been well off. My sister knows this. My mother then revealed something that made a lot of things click into place. My sister and her now husband had originally planned a much smaller wedding, but after seeing a college friend's lavish ceremony, she became determined to match it, despite not having the budget. Rather than scale back their plans, they decided to find ways to offload costs onto others, primarily me. I'm not excusing what she did, my mother said, but I think she got caught up in wanting the perfect day and lost sight of how she was hurting you. I appreciated my mother's apology, but I told her I wasn't ready to forgive my sister yet. She nodded and said she understood, which was a first. As for my sister, she finally broke her silence last week with a text that read, "I know you're mad, but you really hurt me by not being there. When you're ready to apologize, I'm willing to talk." No acknowledgement of what she'd done, no apology for the financial burden she'd placed on me. Just an expectation that I would eventually come crawling back, sorry for standing up for myself. I haven't responded. The good news is that I've managed to return some of the unused items I had purchased for the wedding day, recouping about $500. My boyfriend helped me negotiate a payment plan with my credit card company to handle the rest of the debt without accruing too much interest. Several of the bridesmaids have reached out privately to say they had no idea I was covering so many expenses. One even admitted my sister had told them I was showing off my financial success by insisting on paying for everything. They've been surprisingly supportive, and two of them even sent me gift cards to help offset some of the costs. The most unexpected development came from my sister's new husband. He called me yesterday, clearly uncomfortable but determined to speak. He claimed he had no idea about the financial pressure my sister had put on me and was horrified when he found out the truth. He apologized profusely and offered to reimburse me for at least some of the expenses. I'm still processing how I feel about all of this. On one hand, I'm relieved that most of my family now understands my side of the story. On the other hand, the person who should be most apologetic, my sister, still sees herself as the victim. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my finances and appreciating the people who have shown me genuine support. I've also started therapy to work through my tendency to let my sister manipulate me, which apparently has been happening since childhood. I don't know if my relationship with my sister will ever be repaired, but for the first time, I'm okay with that possibility. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is walk away, even from family. I'll update again if anything significant changes, but for now, I'm taking things one day at a time and learning what healthy boundaries look like.